So here we are in beautiful Jupiter, Florida.
David, is that you?
Sorry guys, hold on.
I watched all your videos. I used your discount code. I got the gear. What do I do now?
You're in luck. He's in luck because today we're going to cover everything you need to know wing surfing, your first lesson. Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. In this episode, we are going to cover everything you need to know as a beginner for your first lesson, wing surfing. What's even better is we have chapters below where you can actually pick and choose and go right to that part so you can study that part, or you can watch the whole thing from beginning to end. If you've never learned anything, this video will have it all. So we recommend get out there, try it, come back, watch different chapters so you can better and really perfect your craft of wing surfing. Let's get to it. So the most important thing when you first start wing surfing is check your location, assess it, know which way the wind's blowing. So when we're looking at this right now, we see the wind's on shore, we see our hazardous thing. So there's a pier right here, want to avoid that. Now the good news is it's shallow in the beginning and then it gets deeper. So that means we're gonna have to swim a little ways out to get to where it's deeper. And then we're gonna work on getting up. And as we get closer to the shore, we know we gotta stop because it's gonna get shallow.
And go back out.
And then we go back out and we do it again. And we know we're gonna keep coming to shore. Now, most important thing is look for any rocks or anything in the beginning. You wanna avoid all, anything that could potentially hurt you, cut items, break things. You wanna always be aware of that. Something to really look for is look at the water and you're gonna see see how it's darker right here? That's wind or chop blowing really hard. If you look over here, you see how it's lighter? That's no wind. So as you're holding that wing, if you glance upwind and you see kind of a really ripply, dark, scratchy, that's wind coming. If you see glass, wait, just hang tight, that power is gonna come. So be patient, keep your eyes on the water, and don't be afraid to, if you're paddled over here and it's just glass, I wouldn't go there, there's no wind. Go over here where there's some texture on the water, and that's wind coming across or fetch coming across water. So always be aware of the surrounding area so that you know where the wind is. Be patient. If you don't have it in the wing, look around, okay, I don't have it, but I see it coming, here it comes. Don't try to go when there's nothing. We've assessed our location. Now the next super duper important thing is spend some time flying the wing. It's windy. You don't even have to go ride the first day. You can sit on the beach and fly the wing over and over and over. The wing is gonna give you the ability to be really good at wing surfing. So spend some time on the beach, fly that wing. So here we are, we're gonna fly the wing. So, always important to put that leash on. And as you can see, I'm just holding the front of the wing. It'll just feather in the wind. That's always the place to hold it. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Kelly. She's just gonna hold it. Just like that, it's that simple to be able to start to wing. Now, to generate power with the wing, you work your way from the front to the back. So you always grab the front, and when I walk my hands, I always make sure the front hand is the solid one because that's the one that's gonna hold the wing from doing anything. So if I grab the back, right away it's gonna take me. So you always wanna have your hand relatively in the front. Now the next really important thing is your front hand, the higher I can keep it up, the more wind it's gonna grab. So if I pull in on this, everything gets challenging with your arms really tight. So we kinda wanna be nice and opened up on the front, and then your backhand is what gives you the power to go. Now, a really key important tip that's super helpful is gonna be, when I go to my right or left, depending which direction you're going, you wanna take your backhand and just think about punching the water. I know that sounds weird because everybody gets into it and they go like this and they pull in and they're trying to ride and the wingtips catch, boom, and they're down. Okay, so the reason that happens is because if I pull in, this wing actually goes down. But if I take my back hand, this hand, and I punch the water, the wing actually goes up. So if I'm pulling in all of a sudden and I just put that back hand down, punch the water, all of a sudden, if I go towards the water, that wing comes up, and vice versa. If I go this way and I'm pulling in and it's going down, if I just push it down, it comes up. Does that make sense? So the trick is to be nice and steady with it so that if the wing starts to go down, I can gently just push on that backhand. The backhand is doing everything in the steering. The front hand is just holding. The backhand steers it to do what it needs to do. We always just want to go on the beach. We're going to walk to our left, feel that wing out, feel the pressures, learn how to adjust my hands to make the move on the board to go to my right. And you're going to do this on the beach and spend some time. You don't want to be rolling the wing. You don't want to be back stalling or flipping. You want to get comfortable with having that nice stable wing. You know, the issue is you fall, you let go, you drop the wing. There's a few ways to get that wing back into your hands. With water, this becomes sticky. So you're on your knees in the water, you get on your board, and let's just say the wing is like this in the water. You know, you need to flip it over. So how to flip it over? So there's a few ways. One is you grab with one hand, you push on the leading edge, and you literally lift with the front handle and you spin it around. It's only gonna flip when that wind is directly blowing down it. The other way is you actually turn, let me flip it over here. The other way is you actually turn the wing in the water to its wingtip, and then you can lift on the leading edge and have that wing flip over, keep the pressure on the top, pull it back over to you, and I can start my process of going to my feet and getting started again. Now the hardest part is when you first start, you need to get as much power as you can generate to get up on the board. So the trick is, get yourself nice and low. Don't stand tall, because if I'm tall, I'm tippy. So I'm gonna stand nice and low. I'm gonna angle the board into the wind as much as I can, which is putting back foot pressure here. And I'm gonna push on that board to angle it into the wind. And I'm always keeping this back hand, we'll call it punching the water, and that keeps that wing nice and high. I don't wanna be like this, because then I won't be able to see.
Yeah, you want it up,
I want
straight
it
arm
up,
in the front.
catching as much wind. And then when I'm ready, I'm gonna start to pump this back hand. And you can kind of pull the front, and it's gonna give you power to get up on the foil. Now the second that foil comes up, it's gonna wanna go fast because you just eliminated all drag. So you might have to release a little bit of the power. You don't need to pull for more, else you'll go real fast. So in general, the most important thing you can do is come to the beach, fly the wing over and over and over and over. That's all I can say. If we were to swim out, we need to know how I'm gonna carry this wing and this board out into the water. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna lay down on the board, and now you're on the board, and what you're gonna do with your wing is you're gonna just put your foot right over the top of it, and you're gonna pin it down just like this, and you're gonna hold it with your feet, 1 foot or 2 feet. And what you're gonna do now is you literally just paddle just like this. You have your foot hooking the wing, so it's gonna stay with you. Now, truthfully, you can lose it because it's still attached to you, but it does make it easy when your foot is hooked around the wing to paddle and get yourself straight out. So that's how you would access to get distance into the wind, and you're always gonna paddle straight into the wind because that's gonna give you the most room to come downwind. The next thing that we're gonna talk about is now getting up on the board. There's a couple tricks here. So a lot of people, they get on the board, obviously the foil's under the water, the wind's blowing like this. You can start on your knees, you can. And you can grab the wing, and I'm always working my way back, right? And I slowly grab some pressure, get a little lift, and that lift can help me go to my front leg up, to my second leg up, but never straight up like this, right here. Stay low, stay balanced, stay nice and easy. This is gonna give you the power right here. If you don't have power, I promise you, you're not gonna have it. Wait for the puff to come, then you're gonna have the power. So if you're like, oh, I'm falling backwards, you're gonna fall backwards. So just, if you're falling back, try to get a little power. If not, relax. And your safety is always going forward with it. But there's 2 ways. A lot of people will go from their knees. Now, in really light winds, or another way that's very helpful for people, because it is hard to go to your knees, and a lot of people can't because their knees hurt. Take your arm and pin this wing like a tripod in the water.
So like bracing against it?
So I'm literally grabbing this handle, and all I'm doing is pushing really hard.
Okay.
So now that is touching.
You're like
and
balancing
it makes it
on them.
really easy for me to stand here, have this as a tripod so I can get balance on the board and I can right away, I'm standing. Versus going from here to balancing on the board and trying to get my feet up and then up. It works for sure, but you can also take your hand, push down against your arm, and I push the leading edge against my arm, which pushes the back against the water, which now it's like a tripod. So I can lean on the wing, get my feet up to then start going. And I'm already on my feet. It's a nice way to get leverage to be able to stand up by just using your arm. No matter what I do with my knees, my feet to get up, most importantly is take your time, stay balanced, stay low. If I stand tall, I'm off a lot. Now the next biggest issue that everybody does is, I've gotten up, I did it, I'm up and going, and I just pull in the wingtip hits and it's done. That's literally 99% of everybody. They're going, I got it, oh, it goes down. So
Punch the water.
punch the water with your backhand, and more importantly, think of, if I keep this up, it's lifting me. So if I start going this way, just keep this wing up high instead of pulling it in. You're doing the same thing. If I pull at it, it usually goes down. But if I keep it up here, I can still generate power, and it's actually lifting me up. When you're on your knees and you have the wing, there's no reason why you can't be on your knees and have the wing flying on your knees on the board and work on kind of going upwind, which would mean go ahead and just be on your knees right now. Now slowly just lift that wing up. Yep, and now see how it's pulling you that way? We need to turn this where it's pulling us this way, right? Okay. This is the way we're gonna pull. So if anything, just nice and mellow like this, keep this hand a little more this way to go that way. So this is gonna go a little more that way. There it is. Now go ahead and, beautiful, absolutely awesome. So this is a good thing to do when you're first learning, and you're always gonna wanna have that board going into the wind. Now if something goes wrong, all you gotta do is let go of the backhand and that wing feathers out. Another key tip is you always wanna be pushing this board into the wind. So the more she can push with this heel will turn this board directly into the wind, which gets more power in the wing, which then gives her the ability to pump. And when you pump to get up, the board's gonna turn downwind as she goes, and you lose power because you're gonna go with the wind. So if you don't have it and you don't feel like you got up, stop, push real hard on this back foot, and this board is gonna pivot back into the wind. So this little pivot with your hips is super important to turn the board to do what you need to do. So the hardest part is carrying this gear to the water. Now the easiest part is just holding the front of that wing. Is it really the hardest part? Yeah, this is definitely the hardest part. So since we're trying to learn the proper ways to carry the gear to the water, which is literally one of the hardest parts, there's many boards that don't have handles. So this board has a handle. Super nice to carry the gear with the foil on it. I'm actually gonna give her a board that doesn't have a handle because that's more challenging, and people should know because there's some without handles. So here's a board and it doesn't have a handle on it, right? So the tricky part is, how am I gonna carry this and the wing into the water? So the best thing you can do is always try to put yourself, I would say, away from your foil so that when you're walking with it, you're not tripping and falling on this because it's obviously more dangerous. So what I would always recommend is go ahead and come around to this side. And what I would say, exactly, you move the wing to where the wind is gonna blow. We're gonna walk directly into the wind. We have a nice clear room to walk with the board. And what I would recommend is you reach down and grab this strut right here, and you're gonna pull it up against the side of your body. And it's okay if you drag that nose in the back. Okay. Just like that, and you would go straight into the wind, and you would just keep that up just like that. Yep, beautiful, good. Look at that. And that right there is a very simple way to walk yourself into the water with the gear. Now, if anything goes wrong, go ahead and set the foil down. Yeah. And I would say when there's waves and stuff coming, be careful to have this ever in front of you whenever there's waves. So the most important thing is this is always to my side so that if something's coming, I can see it and I can always ditch that.
Okay.
So a couple of things to just recommend for people out there: booties, wetsuits, helmets, impact vests. Look, you can wear all that stuff to just be safe. As you get better, it's up to you, whatever you want to do. I would say when you're first learning, you're going from your knees to standing a lot and falling, and your knees and the top of your feet will get super cut up. So keep that in mind. Feel free to DM us because Gwen, who's filming this right now, is bleeding right now because he went through that process. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really hope this helped you on your first time learning how to wing surf, kind of getting that experience. Please leave your comments below. We want to help you and make more videos to help you. So please leave your comments, like and subscribe. We do this for you guys. The more support we can have, the more we appreciate it. And tune in because there's more videos coming every Monday. So we'll see you on the water. So how you carry your gear, you don't assemble it now, you assemble it in the water because it's for sure easier. You take the leash, you just kind of tie it around here and you drag the board because then every guy on the beach will come ask her to marry her and help, and that's how it goes. All right, so this is not how to do it.
Oh my gosh, this is super fun.